Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial on how to create a metal seam roof in Revit Architecture 2019. I've got a sample architectural project here, and we've got a basic slate roof, and I've applied a realistic material to it. If we look at the roof, it just has a basic 75mm thickness, and I've raised up the gable walls to create a concrete barge. So I'm going to create a metal seam roof, so I'm going to convert this roof to a metal seam. So a little trick that I use is I select the roof, I use the copy tool, paste to aligned level, and I paste it to the same level that I'm at. So effectively what I've got is two roofs on top of each other. I select one of the roofs, I'm going to edit its type, and I'm going to change the system family to a sloped glazed roof. Click OK. If I just change this back to wireframe, you will see that I will now have two roofs. One, the metal glaze system. So let's have a look. Let's select our glaze system. I'm going to orientate this view so I can match around, because the rear elevation is I'm going to pick, let's orientate it to that wall, and there we have. So what we have is we've got our gable wall panel, we've got our standard roof, and I've now got my sloped glazed unit. So I'm going to edit this type, I'm going to duplicate it and just give it a new name. I'm just going to call it JH, or I'll just call it metal seam roof. And click OK. We just have a look at it in shaded mode, and you will see that we have our standard roof and we will have our other roof around the side of it. So we have a look. I'm going to orientate to the plane again, and there we have it, and just change it to wireframe. So let's go in and have a look. So the little trick that I use, because I have two roofs on top of each other, so this is my metal roof, I'm just going to nudge it up so you can see that the glazed unit is going to sit up here. So if we look, I want that sitting above my metal or my standard roof, so just nudge it down there. Okay, so I've got my standard roof, and then I've got my glazed seam roof sitting on top. If we just look at that in a shaded mode, so we go in here and you can see that there is my seam roof. If we edit its type, you will see that it has a curtain panel applied to it. If that was glazed, click apply, you will see that's what we get there. Go back, look at the right view again. I'm going to orientate that round and just change it back to wireframe again. So now we've got our roof in position, so I'm just going to nudge it up slightly because it just needs to sit up about there. Okay, so if we look at this in a top view, so here we are. You can go into a shaded mode for this. So what we want to do is actually put in a mullion or a curtain grid on the metal seam roof. So I'm just going to do it one segment at a time. So I'm probably just going to come, for the sake of the video, probably about a meter. So I'm just going to put a single split in now. If we have a look at that, that is just placed a single split in the glazed section of the roof. So if we go on top again, you can go into the curtain panel and do a routine, but I tend to put these in a little bit more manual. I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to use the copy tool and then multiple, and I'm just going to pick a point and create them, making sure that I am perpendicular each time, a meter apart. And that will take us to it. So once I've got all the splits in for the seam, I'm then going to do the other side, and the other side I can just line them up from the original. So go to here, I'm just going to reference them off the other side of the roof, so I'm getting them universal both sides of the roof, and we get something like that. So I've still got my original roof below so you can see it, and I've got my glazed panel. If I select the type I just change that back to my solid panel again, and click apply, click OK. You can see now this is what I'm getting. When we look at the glazed panel, so if we have a little look, so we just orientate it round. So we've got our standard roof, and then we've got our metal seam roof on top. So the trick to it all, to form the metal seams, is just to apply a mullion. So if we look down into our families, we've got curtain wall mullions, and you may or may not have anything suitable. So in this case I'm going to duplicate the 50 by 150. I'm going to call this metal seam, and then I'm going to right click, and actually I'll spell it correctly, metal seam roof, and then I'm going to change its type properties. So in here I'm going to say that the thickness is going to be 50, and then I'm going to do the width on each side 15 and 15, and I'm going to leave the material as aluminium. Then all you do is you go to mullion, and I want to put them in. You can go all grid lines, but that will put them at the top and bottom as well, and I'd not exactly want them there. So I'm just going to put them in individually. And you can see as we put them in, I've got the incorrect ones picked, so just quickly select each of them, change its type to my metal seam, so it just gives it a little bit more of a subtle detail. Back to mullion, change the type, and then we pop them in there and there, and then orbit our roof round. We get something like that, so you can start to see, because I just put it in as a glazed system, we can form the metal roof. If you want, you can take it a step further. So say we wanted to do the flashing up around the chimney, I would probably model that in place. So I can go to component, model in place, put it as a roof component, call it flashing. I probably do it as a sweep, and I pick the path of just go in there, that round, and we find that. So that's the path of my sweep. I'm then going to edit the profile. I'm going to show the reference plane, and then I'm going to set it orient to that plane, and that will do this. So now what we need to do is draw our little flashing in. So I'm just going to do a very quick rectangle. You could already have a profile pre-existing, but if we do say something like that in size, and I say that it's 35 by 35, and just move that quickly, just stretch it out like that. So that is our profile. Just confirm it, orbit that round, so you can see the profile is going in here. It's going to come round and sweep around that. Now what I should have done just prior to finishing the model is just set the material as aluminium, so it just matches the rest of the metal seam, and there we have it. So a really quick way of putting in a metal seam roof is to duplicate the roof, change it to a sloped glazing, put in the grid splits, then apply a mullion detail, and there you have it. Again, you can adjust the length of the roof where it's got the extra overhang, stuff like that, to match, because we've copied it up. You get the discrepancy there, but that it's as simple as that. Duplicate the roof, sloped glazing, grid lines, then the mullion, and then if you wish to, just do a little model in place to finish off the flashing.